Hello, my name is TheDexodius. I prefer to be called Dex, though. I have a small YouTube channel. I love to play video games. I'm actually wanting to make video games myself. Kind of hard, though. And once in a while I record, but kind of lost on what to record. And this game is Warframe. One of my favorite video games, by the way.
Hello and welcome everyone to another MMO Anthropology interview. I, of course, am your host, Amherst, and I'm here with TheDexodius, who I'm going to be referring to as Dex from now on, because he said that he prefers that. So, for my first question is, so why do you play Warframe?
One of the main reasons is that I really have a good friend that loves to play Warframe, so I play with him because I'm more of like a cooperative player than a single player type of person.
Right.
And another good reason is that Warframe is a really fast-paced game, it seems like, so really like fast-paced games.
A lot more just going through stuff rather than waiting around to get stuff done?
Yeah.
So do you have any experience with other massively multiplayer games?
A few.
And how would you say they compare to this one? Like, pick something.
They pale in comparison.
So would you say you play this one more often than them as a result?
Yeah.
So what do you do in a regular day in Warframe? I wonder, like, how many hours do you play in a day, and what do you do when you're running around?
Usually I like to play tower defenses and any sort of, like, void missions. Recently, though, I've been trying to get Chroma doing his quest line. I completely forgot the rest of the question.
It's okay. I figured that I would, oops. Here I am hitting buttons. I would mention to our viewers what a tower defense is. Essentially, it's kind of like a horde mode where you stand in the middle and you protect an item from being destroyed by bad guys who are coming after it, and you just, you kill them.
Yeah.
And yeah, in Warframe, that's one of the game modes. There's several different game modes. In fact, I should point out that's my favorite, to tell the truth. And Chroma is a specific Warframe in the game that I think looks like a dragon.
Yeah.
And it has dragon bits, including breathing, fire, ice, whatever. It depends on what color you are at the time.
Yeah.
And since I'm mentioning Warframes, I figured that it would be interesting to point out that you've come up with a really good style for yours. It's all black with red highlighting. Is that in... yes. Is that in Excalibur?
Yeah.
So how did you come up with your color scheme? How long did it take you to put it together?
Well, can't quite say how long it took. I know it took a while, though. Since I first started playing Excalibur, I started with kind of like a white and different color, and then I continued to go to like white with black. But then I decided that the white was maybe a little bit too bright because I used the color correction and whatnot for the video settings. So I decided to go with black, and one of my favorite colors would be blue, but since there's no blue in specific that I prefer, I choose red, and I think that blue and red looks really cool, especially because of the stalker symbol I have. Since the stalker's kind of like black,
Yes. So, my next question is, how do you use MMOs differently than you do other entertainment? Say, how do you go to entertain yourself with an MMO rather than, like, reading a book or watching TV or movies or etc.?
Oh, well, I mean, playing games has always been more fun to me, so I think taking, like, MMO, like Warframe, compared to other games, since I prefer to play games, I would say that Warframe it never really ends in the amount of fun you can have because they're always releasing new stuff. Unlike other games, for instance, I play Risk of Rain, it's really dead, they don't really update it, so once you kind of complete everything, kind of done with it, and since I'm like hardly done playing Warframe and they're always adding new stuff, it's always like fun to constantly play it and progress. So, I'd say progression. Oh my god, in the video games like MMOs is probably one of the funner things.
So do you happen to have a guild in Warframe?
I did. I wasn't like a leader or anything. I was one of the higher ranks. I wasn't just a member. But then it was disbanded, so now I'm kind of alone.
Oh, okay. What would you say is like the quote-unquote the temperature of Warframe's community? Are people friendly, or do they talk a lot, or is it kind of hostile?
Well, I mean, with every other game, there's always those toxic players. But I'd say that Warframe, one of the things is that there's always somebody to help you if you can't find something on like the wiki or something. So there's always that helpful person in Warframe. But I'd say a lot of people are friendly in Warframe, so Warframe's more friendly than toxic.
No, that's good to know. So, my final question for you would be, what is your favorite or most memorable experience from playing Warframe?
The like kind of like the better moments that I had in Warframe. Well, besides the parkour release, I'd have to say like the best part about this game, or like the more funnier parts I had on this game, would be the ragdoll physics and the stuff that the bodies do. That's just, it's hilarious.
Did you have a particular event where you watched, bad guys flipping off into space?
Yeah, probably one of the best ones was with the I forget their names. They're like it's the ancient healer, but one of the other ones. But basically, I used my Cindo Prime and I did like the jump attack on him, and he like got knocked down into the ground, and then he like started to stand up, but like upside down, and then his head was like still in the like ground, and because of that, his body just started to spaz out while moving. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I've seen that happen before. Well, in other video games where, I guess it's like the renderer doesn't know where the different pieces are supposed to be, and so suddenly they're flipping all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's all the questions I have for you. Is there anything that you wanted to add about playing Warframe?
I mean, there's a lot of choices in like the Warframes that you can play as. It's just, it feels like there's not always, like, for instance, for me, besides Excalibur, because Excalibur is pretty OP and really fast-paced, I'd say there's not like a Warframe specifically for me. And also the developers are pretty cool and fun.
Yeah, Warframe is developed by Digital Extremes. Everyone just calls them DE.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that they're very talkative. They'll actually show up on Reddit and Twitter and in the forums and actually engage with people, which I think makes Warframe a little bit more of a closer community when I see people talking.
Yeah. And also there's this, like, recently the hotfix they added, at the end of their, like, last, warning, I forget the exact words, but it was basically, like, totally didn't add the drops for Prime, nothing to see here.
Well, that's all the time that I've got for this interview. I want to thank you so much for talking to me, Dex.
You're welcome.
And, of course, everybody listening, this has been another MMO Anthropology. I hope everyone has a great time out there. Good night and good dreams.
Peace.
Do you play online games? Do you have Skype? Then we'd love to interview you on Massive Online Anthropology. Join the fascinating thousands who've spoken about their online gaming experience and be the envy of all your friends. Or at least get the MMO Anthropology Geek Merit Badge. Sorry, no t-shirt. See you then!